Hello everybody, this is Rivero here. Gonna go over the solutions to the homework. So let's get started. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, which one is greater, 5/6 or 5/9? And we're gonna color our answer yellow. So I'm looking at 5/6, I'm looking at 5/9. And I noticed that 5/6 is a greater proportion, greater percentage than 5/9, right? If the pizza is divided into 9 pieces, it's going to have smaller pieces, right? Because the 5 is the same, so 5/6 is greater, all right? Which fraction is smaller, 4/7 or 1/2? Well, 1/2 of 7 is 3.5. So this one is bigger. So 1/2 is smaller. All right, number 3. Quinn studied for 1/5 of an hour. Jaywin studied for 1/10 of an hour. Which fraction of time is greater? Well, let's compare those two, 1/5 or 1/10. Okay. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 2 is 2. And this is 1/10. So 2/10 is greater than 1/10. Therefore, 1/5 is the greater fraction. Okay, moving on to the next one. Which fraction is the smallest? 2/3, 7/9, or 5/7? Okay, I'm gonna look for a common denominator, least common denominator of 3, 7, and 9. All right, and I went ahead and multiplied those 3 numbers, and I got, well, let's just look here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51, 54, 57, 60. All right. 63, 66, 69, 72. All right. Look at the factors of 9 multiples, 27, 36, 45, so it has 45 there, 45, 7 doesn't go into 45, 7 times 9 is 63, so let's just do that, 54, 63. Okay, so 63 is our least common denominator. So 2/3 is how many 63rds? 7/9 is how many 63rds? And 5/7 is how many 63rds? Let's see. Seven goes into 63. 9 times 9 times 5 is 45. So the smallest fraction here is this one, 2/3. Okay. And for number 5, which fraction is the largest? 7/9, 3/4, or 9/11? You can do something similar, or you can use percentages. 7 divided by 9. If you divided those two numbers, I get 0.7 repeating. If you divide 3 by 4, you get 75 hundredths. And if you divide 9 by 11, you get 0.0 8, 1, 8, 1 repeating. So which fraction is the largest? 9 over 11 is the largest. Moving on to number 6. It says Edwin needs 1/3 cup cocoa powder to make brownies and a 1/4 cup to make cookies. Which fraction of a cup is smaller? So we're going to look at these fractions here, 1/3 and 1/4. And I'm just going to multiply 3 times 4, get 12. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 12 times 3 is 12, so 1 times 3 is 3. So my equivalent fractions are these. Which fraction of a cup is smaller? Well, clearly, this is smaller. Okay? Hopefully, you got that one correct. And here, if we look at this one here, 5/6 versus 3/4. Which fraction is smaller? Okay? So let's get right into it. Want to find the least common denominator, which is 12 again. Happens to be 12 again. Okay, and 4 times 3 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9. And 6 times 2 is 12, so 5 times 2 is 10. Clearly, the smaller fraction is 9/12 or 3/4. Okay, you want to color that light blue. Which fraction is smaller? 4/7 or 4/5. Okay, least common denominator is 35. 5 times 7 is 35. So 4 times 7 has to be 28. 7 times 5 is 35, so 4 times 5 is 20. The smaller fraction is clearly 20/35 or 4/7. Cool. Excellent. Nina is making a cake. She needs 1/3 cup of oil. She has a 1/4 cup. Which fraction of a cup is larger? All right, let's compare apples to apples by finding common denominator. 3 times 4 is 12. That happens to be the least common denominator. 3 times 4 is 12. So 4 times 3 is 12, so 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12, so 1 times 4 is 4. The larger fraction is 4/12 or 1/3. Okay, here we got a couple of fractions, 2/7 and 4/15 and 3/10. Okay, the least common denominator method may take us to a denominator of, well, you know what? I'm just going to divide. So 3 divided by 10 is 30%. 2 divided by 7 Let me start over. Let's do the first one. 2 divided by 7. Top dog goes in the house. 7 does not go into 2 evenly. 7 goes into 20 2 times. So we get 6 left over. 7 goes in 68 times. 4 left over. 7 goes into 40. What's 4 times? 5 times. 5 times. Five times 7 is 35. And 7 goes into 57 times. So it's 20. 0.29. Okay. 4 goes into 15, or 4 divided by 15, I should say. If you divide those two, 4 divided by 15, and that calculates to 0.26 repeating. So we can round it to 0.27, and then this one is 30%, or 0.3. So the smallest is clearly 4/15. Okay. All right. Moving on to the last page. Which fraction is the largest? 3/10, 1/4, or 4/15. Well, 3/10 is 30%, 1/4 is 25%, and 4/15, the one we just did, would be 26% approximately. And the largest one here is 3/10. Anisha ran 9/10 of a mile yesterday and 19/20 of a mile today. Which distance is farther? Okay, we need to compare apples to apples here. So we need a common denominator of 20. So 18/20 is equivalent to 9/10. So versus 18/20 to 19/20, this distance is farther. 19/20. Which fraction is greater? Well, 4 divided by 5 is 0.8. 9 divided by 10 is 0.9. So this one's greater. Which fraction is smaller? Okay, let's see. I know that 7/20, if I multiply that by 5, I get 35/100, which is the same as 0.35. And if I take 7 and divide it by 8, top dog goes in the house, remember? Okay, so 8 times 8 is 64. 7 times 8 is 56. And 8 times 5 is 40. So 0.875 versus 0.35. Clearly, this one is smaller. Okay. So Max, your pizza pie, right? You got 1/3. All right, or you have our pizza pie here. And we bubble in 3 of these. 1/3 of a pizza versus 3/8. Common denominator 24. This and this. 3/8 is bigger. Which fraction is larger, 5/12 or 1/3? Again, we want to, well, if you know that 4 out of 12 is 1/3, and 5 out of 12 is a little bit larger. Okay, for smaller here, 3/10 or 1/6. I think I'm just going to divide. Top dog goes in the house. 0, 1. 6. And it looks like it's repeating. So 0.16 repeating versus 0.3. This one is smaller. Manny grew 5/9 of an inch last year. This year he has grown 1/2 an inch. Which fraction is larger? Well, 5/9 is larger because 4.5/9 would be 1/2. Which fraction is the largest? 8/9, 7/8, or 4/5? All of these have a difference of 1. So I'm going to divide. 8 divided by 9 is 0.8, repeating. 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. And 4 divided by 5 is 0.8. So this one's a little bit bigger. The last one, which is the smallest, common denominator of 10. No change here. 4/10 and 5/10. The smallest is 2/5. Okay, everybody. Those are the solutions that you need to check your work. Don't forget to put your first and last name and block number when you turn it in. Thanks, everybody.